Here you are seeing a preview of what is the solution I've applied to fix the pulse connection issue in Sunpower Gen 5 solar cells. In the first part of this video, I will explain what is the solution to fix that issue and how I did it at home. In the second part of this video, I will explain and show how I made the connection of the solar cells after having done the solution. I will explain each step along the way, covering little details to connect the solar cells until having them working properly. You will learn how to fix for yourself the contact issue of positive and negative electrodes and connect the solar cells. In the next video, you will learn how to make your own solar panels with Sunpower Gen 5 solar cells. To solve the problem of the short circuit that can happen when the positive gets in contact with the negative pole, I bought Palastocil M2000 and the catalyzer OL1 to solve this issue. Here you can see the labels I used. So, I utilized a plastic lid from a bottle and a wood stick to put a bit of each substance and mix them together until making a homogeneous mixture. As seen here, and now I'm showing the cell. I will put the right side of the cell as it is the positive side, and is all around the cell is positive and here is negative. As I'm pointing the stick, this left side of the cell is a negative pole. And I will put a little bit of the mixture here, a little bit of the mixture here, a little bit of the mixture here, and finally a little bit of mixture here. So after the curing time, just 2 hours or 3 hours more or less, depending on the quantity of catalyzer that you put, everything looks like this. This is the after curing cell. So I already made a mixture and put in all of the cells before. This silicone works as an isolation material and it solves the pulse connection issue. After the curing time, I will use the multimeter and test the cells. So this is the positive side. And here is the positive, and the positive. Now we measure it to see if the cell is working properly after the isolation. And I will measure the first connection. There is no continuity, as seen here. There is no continuity. There is no continuity. And finally, in the last connection, there is no continuity, as you can see in the multimeter. So this means the isolation worked properly and the cell can be used to assemble in the solar panels. Let's go to the next step. So I will use this welding iron. It is already turned on at 180 Celsius degrees, as you can see here. I just put a little bit of the thin that I have here in this roll, and I put it on the tip of the welding iron, and I will begin here at the most far away area because it is easier to connect the cells. I'm just putting a little bit of thin, okay, just a little bit. The area. Now a little bit more on the next area. Now pass it to another area, and finally I will put thin in the last area. Now I will just scratch the excess, okay, as I'm doing here. There is some excess of silicone, but I'm removing it. Okay. And also here in this area, I'm removing the excess of silicone. And in the last area, I'm removing the excess of silicone too. Scratching a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of thin on the top. With my welding iron. A little bit of tin on the top in the next area. Now in the next area, a little bit of tin. A little bit of tin in the last area with my welding pen. And now pay attention to the next step, as I'm going to put this piece of tab wiring that I already cut and have roughly 2 centimeters, and I will weld this tab wiring to the area where I've put it thin. First one is already done. I'll move to the next one. I'm putting the tab wiring on the top of the area that I just welded with the tin, and I'm putting again more tin to weld this tab wiring to the area. And now I'm going to the third area. I'm putting the third tab wiring on the top of the welding area with a little bit of tin for the perfect welding. Okay, it is done. And finally, the last one, I'm putting the tab wiring on the top of the welded area. And now a little bit of tin. I'm welding the area. Now let's measure again to check if everything is working properly. Okay, that's an important step that you must check. Okay, and here in the first connection there is no continuity. This connection there is no continuity, and finally no continuity. So this was very well done welding. I just tested and the silicone has made its job. So we have no continuity in any of the connections. Let's move to the next step. So after the welding in all cells that I already made for all the 72 solar cells, I will make the string of cells. I'm starting to put 2 cells together and use a small space between them and check if the pointing welding areas are aligned between the 2 cells. They are. As you can see here, this one is bigger, but I think it is fine. So it's ready. Okay, so we keep on welding the two connecting cells for the areas that were welded before here. Okay, as I'm showing it to you, I will weld this tab wiring from one cell to another cell. I'm welding the second area, tab wiring that connects both cells. Now the third area, I'm welding the tab wiring that connects both cells. And finally, the last connection, I'm welding it too. As I'm going to show you, this is already done. I'm showing it now that we have the first two strings of cells connected, and now I will measure if they are working properly. Okay? And there is some continuity value in some cells. This is one of the cells that has a problem. But remember that we are doing this test indoors without sunlight. This one has continuity, but not fully. If there was more sunlight, we had less continuity. Thank you for watching and don't miss the next video. In the next video, I will show how I built 2 solar panels with these cells. Bye!